Hello engineers! In this video lesson we're going to make problem 1-8. Let me get that open so you can see what I'm talking about. So here's the problem we're going to be making. Problem 1-8. It is in inches, not millimeters. Open up Autodesk Inventor. Find the New button. Click on New Part. Double check that your Tools, Document Settings, Units is set to inches. Gonna click Close. Click on that 3D Model tab and click on the Start a 2D Sketch. For this model, we're gonna start on the XY plane or the front plane. Click on that. Click on your rectangle tool. Now, just as a quick tip, your tools, some tools have these drop-down menus, and when you select, for example, slot, the rectangle tool changes to slot tool. So you have to just drop down that menu and now it's rectangle tool again. So just keep that in mind. If you're not seeing a tool that you want, drop down the menu and search for it. So, okay, we're using the rectangle tool. We're going to hover over the origin point. We're going to click one time, move to the top right, and click one time. I'm going to hover over the front and click that so I can line up my front view with the workspace. And then I'm clicking dimension, and I'm going to dimension this line here. So I'm going to click on it, move my mouse to the left side, and click. Now, a click is just a left click, a single normal left click. Whenever I need you to right click, I will say right click. So make sure you're using a computer mouse. If you're using the trackpad on your computer, right click is going to be a 2-finger tap, and a regular click is going to be a 1-finger tap. The dimension here is 1.25 inches. Now notice everything, the dimension flew up into the air. I'm going to click on that front side of the view cube here, and it'll line it up back to see it. Okay, dimension is still selected, so I'm going to click the bottom line and move down, and then click one time. That's going to be just 2 for 2 inches. Press enter, and again, see the drawing just moved itself outwards. Those are the major dimensions that I need. I'm going to go and click Finish Sketch. Click on the home of the view cube. Click Extrude. And I'm going to extrude that out by 1 inch. It's defaulted to 1 inch now. If it's not, make sure that says 1 inch. Click OK. The next thing we're going to do, I'm looking at the drawing, we're going to cut out a piece here. So on this surface here, we're going to right click and then select New Sketch. Click on that front. Project Geometry will basically make lines visible. So I'm going to click on the button up top. I'm going to click on this surface. And then I need to cut away from it. So I want to add a couple lines here. And what I'm going to do here is click the line tool. And I'm going to draw something like this. Now you see how I started above it. I stopped here and then I went at an angle. I'm not clicking on any of the snapping midpoints or any of the corners or anything. Now, to finish this, I can press Enter. Well, that didn't work, sorry. I can press Escape, or I could have right-clicked and click OK. And then I'm going to use the Trim tool and click Trim. And I'm going to hold down the left key on the mouse, left button, and basically draw a line there, and then repeat here. And then I'm going to dimension from this edge to the point, and then move my mouse upwards and click, and that should be 0.5. And then let's see, this point to the bottom should be 0.25. This point to the bottom should be 1. I'm going to go ahead and finish sketch. I'm going to extrude. I'm going to select that little section here. And what I want to do is I want to cut it. So I'm going to click that cut button, click through all, click OK. And now I have another extrusion I need to do. I'm going to right click on this surface. Again, project the geometry. So I click project. I want that. Click the line tool. This time I'm going to just line up my line tool here. I'm going to go down, click, and then I'm going to go straight outwards in this direction and click. Now this time I'm going to right click and click OK. Again, trim. I'm going to trim this line. Clicking the dimension tool this time because this line and this line, they need to be 0.5 away from each other. And then I click Finish Sketch, click Extrude. This triangle right here, I'm going to click that. I want to cut it, but I don't want to cut through all. I want to cut it at a distance. And that distance is going to be 0.75. And click OK. Next thing I want to do is I want to put there's a fillet. So I'm going to click on fillet and I'm going to click on this edge right here, right there. And that number should be 0.5. That's the radius. Click OK. Click home. And then there's, let's see, we're almost done. There's a hole that's left. Okay, so there's a hole that's left on this surface. So I'll hover over this surface, right click, new sketch. And here's another thing that the project geometry can do. So I'm going to click on that and I'm going to click on the curved surface right here. You see how that's turning green? I click on that, and what it does, it gives me the center of that. If that was a full circle, it would give me the center. So there's the center of that fillet. And then I'm going to click the circle tool, hover over that so it snaps, and that's going to be a diameter of, it looks like 0.38. 0.38. Finish sketch. And we're going to extrude cut through all, so click on cut, click through all, make sure that's there. Awesome. Now with every part, regardless if I tell you to do it or not, you should just do it. You should select a material for the part, and that will just get you into the habit so that you're ready for your exams, your certification. Whenever that happens, you know how to do this right away. So there's two ways to do it that I know of. There's a menu up here. You can scroll through and select a material. I just have to click on stainless steel. The other way to do that is go to File, iProperties, Physical tab right here, and then you have your material menu, and you can change the material in there. Just click Apply, Close, and it should change it right here. There we go. Let's go ahead and save this. So there's a few ways to do that. We can save as or save. Save as is useful for when you want to change the file name. So for example, let's say I saved this as part 1 by accident. I don't want that. I want to go to then save as. So I'm going to click save as. This is problem 1-8. I'm going to underscore EJC for my initials. Now you can, write your full name, last name, initials, whatever is easiest for you to remember. And of course the name of the problem. Click save. And then we're going to find our custom template. So in your home tab, in your home button right here, your custom template might be available or it might not be. So if you don't see it there, it's going to be in your technical drafting folder. So you're going to have to look for it in there and open it up. Now, sometimes what happens is, let me see if this is an example. Let me open that up. Okay, so this one's empty. Sometimes you will accidentally save your custom template, and you'll have parts on your custom template, and it'll say custom template, not the name of the actual part. I'm going to close this. I think my newest one is this one right here. Let me open that one. Okay, so here's what I'm talking about. See how it says custom technical drawing template for students. I already have parts on it. I don't want that. What I want to do is click and drag a box across it, and I can right click, delete, and click OK, and it'll delete all that for me. Now, just as a quick check, you should have your own little logo, little picture here, designed by your name. The title of the part should always pop up, the date, the scale, the size of the sheet, and the approval. That's for me. I'll sign it or grade it right in that section. And also, just keep in mind, your custom template is our custom template. Not all engineers are going to use this template. There's templates that are designed for each company. They use their own specific template. Make sure that you've completed the engineering drawing video and the worksheet. It explains that in more detail. Let's go ahead and add the dimensions and of problem 1-8. So once you have your custom template open, you should be in the Place and Views tab. You click on Base. Your file that you are working on will show up right here. If it's not, you got to click on this little button. And the front view should be the automatic view that shows up. So that XY plane that we drew on in the beginning, that's the view that it's showing. And remember, your front view is always going to be on the bottom left side. So we're just going to click and hold and drag it over. And then we move our mouse towards the top. We click one time, we move our mouse over here, click one time, we'll move our mouse into the isometric view area and click one time. And our scale is set to 1:1. The scale is how large you want your part to be. A quarter scale is really small. 1:1 scale is 100% scale, meaning that when you print it at scale, it'll actually should measure to 2 inches by the 1.25. You can also make it larger, 2:1. Sometimes we need to do that to see a part easier. 1:1 is going to be fine for this one. Click OK. If you want your isometric drawing to be colored, hover over it, double click, move over here to shaded, and click on that button and click OK. And that'll be the color that you've adjusted it to, or the material color. Now, just to get into the habit of this, so right away, before we even add dimensions, let's just go ahead and add our parts list. So click the parts list, click on the part, click OK, and let's just bring that down right here. And for this one, we're going to just leave it alone. Just leave it alone. Don't add anything. We're just going to leave it alone. Okay, and just get in the habit of doing that. If you are worried that I might take points off, go ahead and double click on it. Click on the column chooser and add the material. If you add the material, that's a good thing. Okay, and then to adjust this, let's just adjust this. There we go. You can play around with the sizes of the columns just to clean it up a bit. Okay, now in the Annotate tab, click Dimension. We're going to need to just use your mouse wheel, zoom in a little bit. On the bottom line here, try to avoid snapping to midpoints. Click and OK. So here's a problem. I think this custom template is set to millimeters. So I'm going to go to Tools, Document Settings, and I'm correct. The active standard for this custom template was set to millimeters. So I'm going to drop that down, go to just Default Standard, Apply, Close, and now I need to hover over the numbers on this, right click and delete. Click on Annotate again, click Dimension, and there we go. Now we are in business. We want the height dimension. We want this dimension right here. We want the dimension from this point to show up right there, and then this point and this point. We want the radius of that fillet. We want the diameter of that hole. We want this dimension. We want this dimension. We want this dimension. And then zoom out a little bit. We want to add this dimension. I know that's a little redundant, but that's okay. If we want to make it easier for whoever's drawing it, we can add this dimension here. It's not necessary though, but it might make it easier for anyone drawing it or manufacturing it. Now we add our center mark, so click on the center mark button, click on that circle. That center mark looks really good. I'm going to go ahead and tap escape. I'm going to right click on that center mark, edit center mark style, so you can see the numbers that I have in here. So A, B, C, D, A looks like 0.079, B is also 0.079, C is 0.157, D is 0.039. Save and close. This is a really good template. I've already saved the settings in here. So that's the other thing you can do. Set up a custom template so that you don't have to adjust anything again. If you want me to work with you on doing that, then let me know. Okay, now I'm going to click on centerline bisector and add the center lines for the whole here and here. And there you have it. Problem 1-8 is almost done. I'm going to go to File, iProperties, Summary. The title should be Problem 1-8. The author is me. Apply, close, and that should update the title and the design by. Go ahead and see now I almost clicked on Save. And that would have saved it as Custom Technical Drawing. And I don't want that. I'm going to go File, Save As. And this is problem 1-8 underscore EJC. Okay, so that saved it. And I'm going to press Control P. Control P. Make sure I'm on the right printer. Best fit. Click OK. Control P is print. File. Export. PDF. Close this. Save that PDF. That PDF is what I will upload to the assignment for credit. So I know it's a lot, but that's how technical drafters work and complete their projects. Now, if I wanted to, I could send this off to a manufacturing company. I could tell them I want this made out of steel alloy, which would probably be ridiculous and expensive. But now they have all of the dimensions. They can manufacture it. Now, here's another thing. We can actually 3D print this if we really wanted to. So stick around. I'm going to explain that in this video. If you wanted to 3D print this, this is what you would have to do. You'd go back to your part file. This is the IPT file. Go to File. There's a print button right here. So we hover over that. We don't click on that. We click on Send to 3D Print Service. Okay, and the export file type is an STL. The options button, you click on that right there. It shows you your units. It's best to do it in millimeters because the 3D printer software works better with that. Your resolution should be on high, and all this other stuff is defaulted. We're not going to play with that. Click OK, click OK, and it says Save Copy As, and the file name is going to be whatever you saved it as previously. But again, that file type, that STL, that .stl file type, that's the file type that you can use to create a print for the 3D printer. So if I click Save, now I can open up my software, Creality Slicer, which you may or may not have on your computer. And I'm only showing you this in case there's other things you want to 3D print or design. There will be a more detailed video later on for you to use to 3D print your own designs. But see how long this is taking to open. If you stuck around this long, kudos to you. I'm proud of you for sticking around this long to see this, and it's good that you're doing that. So here's the software that we will be using to 3D print. So right now it's set to the Creality Ender 3v3 printer. That's the printer. That's one of the newer printers we have. It should be labeled. The printer should be labeled on the front of it. If it's not, let me know. I'll make sure to label it again. But now essentially I'll open that file. So So that problem 1.8, and I'll drag it into that space. And now you see there's the part. I'm going to click on it. There's the rotate button right here. I'm going to actually rotate it so it looks like that. And then using the AC settings, which you'll have uploaded, I'll click slice. And what slicing does is in the preview, it shows you all of the print layers. So right here on the right side, I can scroll down and see how that's going to print. The inside part, that's called the infill. So that is the design that I chose for the AC settings so far. And what you'll see is, I wonder if I can, look, watch, if I click this play button, it shows you how the nozzle will print that layer. And then if I click here and use the up arrow. So that's how 3D printing works. It prints layer by layer. And you've probably watched the printer print. But the cool thing with the software is, like right here, let's say this layer, I need to watch how it might print. And I click this little play button. It shows you a preview of how it's going to print. That can be useful for a lot of reasons. One of the reasons, if you have an overhang and you want to just check, you never want an overhang. You don't want to print all in the air with nothing supporting under it. And we'll go into details about that later. But yeah, problem 1-8, print, turn in, good luck.